YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back, and I am ticked off. I normally do not do this in my videos. Whatever comes, just comes. But for this specific video, I'm going to bless y'all with a disclaimer. This video is likely to contain language that some people may find offensive. It is likely to contain inflammatory remarks, the general aura of a woman at the very end of her rope, and other such unpleasantries. So if any of those things offend you in any way at all, I highly encourage you to check out one of my previous videos or hold off for a future video of mine, but this will definitely not be the video for you. So I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Okay, I feel good now. So here's the situation, people. I was perusing through Huffington Post tonight, as I am wont to do, and stumbled across a story which I think sent me to the very edge of what I, as a progressive individual of the 21st century, can handle. I should also point out, well, I can hold off on the pointing of that out. Rick Santorum, who is a future possible Republican candidate for the presidential primary, who recently won the Iowa caucuses and is now considered a front runner based upon the support and backing of certain Christian evangelicals, made a statement to the press recently that blew me out of the water and warranted my immediate response. It is now 5:57 in the morning, and I just couldn't put head to pillow without commenting on this. I do not think it will come as a great shock to you, all of those who are my subtastics, to know that, you know, my views tend to err on the side of the liberal. And I in making this video, I do not want, nor do I wish to offend anybody, because the topic at hand is a very hot button issue. And people are very divided about it. And for those of you who side with Mr. Santorum, you are entitled to feel however you feel about it. And I respect that, and I always encourage free thinking. However, I don't think, you know, it's exactly late-breaking news for me to reveal that I feel, the polar opposite of the way that he does about this issue that I am getting ready to discuss. Rick Santorum's views have been pretty clear-cut and popularized through the media to date. And it has been made abundantly clear that Rick Santorum is a pro-life individual. However, he was recently asked the question as to whether or not abortion is appropriate in the case of rape. As in, if conception occurs as a result of a sexual assault, is abortion then an appropriate measure to take? And his answer and the blurb that was given on Huffington Post, and y'all know, the link will be below, undoubtedly below. His response to which was that women who face such circumstances should make the best out of a bad situation. When he was asked by Piers Morgan what he would do if his own daughter, approached him, pleading for an abortion after having been raped, Santorum then explained, and again, this is a direct quote from the article, that he would counsel her to, quote, accept this horribly created, end quote, baby, because it was still a gift from God, even if given in a broken way. I think that Rick Santorum could have given this same answer and the further elaboration of said answer when he attempts to explain himself. I think that he could have done that in a chicken suit and not sounded any more freaking ridiculous than he does right now. I am just astounded at the level of gall this man must possess in order to make a statement such as essentially grin and bear it. I can respect, while wholeheartedly disagreeing with, I can respect Mr. Santorum's conservative views. I am okay. We are all entitled. It's a free country. A lesson that I don't know that he's entirely grasped yet, but it is in fact a free country, and he is well within his right to feel however he may feel about it. And I just don't know how much diversity this man encountered while living in Butler County, Pennsylvania. But America is a good deal more diverse than Mr. Santorum seems to think that it is. We are a country that comes in all shapes, all sizes, all creeds, all races, all different kinds of national origin, abled people, differently abled people, elderly, infants, different sexual orientations, different gender identities. We are an all-inclusive nation. And everybody who lives within the borders of this country has the inherent right to be who they are and to do as they see fit, to an extent. But Mr. Santorum's views seem to not only want to take us back to, some perceived golden age of America. As a woman, I am appalled at the perceived notion that being sexually assaulted and having a conception occur as a result of said sexual assault is my cross to bear. And that I should be more than willing to set aside the horror and the atrocity and the undeniable evil of such an act for the sake of something which has occurred as a result of said act. Now, before I even get too deep, I fully understand that there are women in this country who are survivors of rape, who became pregnant as a result of said rape, and who have made the decision to keep said child. They have claimed ownership over their bodies and what is growing inside of them. They have bonded and or identified with said situation and have made it up in their minds that this is mine, and regardless of how it got here, I am going to love it. And I absolutely applaud those women for an otherworldly act of bravery, an otherworldly act of courage. There's nothing more that you can say about women like that. There is a strength there that I don't know that I possess, and I don't know that everybody around me possesses. But let's be realistic here. Those women are few and far between. I am not with Rick Santorum every day of every week. I don't know what, goes on in his day-to-day existence. But I have a sinking suspicion that this is a man who has never spent time in a rape crisis center. I have a sinking suspicion that this man has never sat in on a group counseling session of survivors of sexual assault. I have a sinking suspicion that this man, upon making this erroneous, heinous statement, never bothered to consider the 10, 11, and 12-year-old girls who occasionally become pregnant as a result of said sexual assault. And if he had, there is no way he would formulate the subject and the verb to articulate the notion that these little girls should set aside the horror that they have experienced and make incredibly adult decisions when they are still babies themselves. I cannot believe that this man lives in so small of a bubble but feels qualified to speak on behalf of a nation. It is beyond my comprehension. I am a survivor of sexual assault. Most of you know this. I first experienced it at the age of 12. I next experienced it at the age of 14. I then experienced it in my early 20s. I have known the indignity and the degradation of a rape kit. I have known these things. I'm not speaking for somebody who has not been there. This is what I know to be true for myself. Laying there on a hospital table as you are poked and prodded and shaved and swabbed and photographed. And you feel, I felt, as though I was being raped all over again. It is reprehensible for Rick Santorum, whom, to the very best of my knowledge, has never experienced a sexual assault, to feel qualified to attempt to encapsulate it into this, it was a terrible thing that happened to you. But look, look at what you have now. And so just put this god-awful situation that you've been through to the side because now you have a bigger responsibility. It's unimaginable to me. Unimaginable to me. Setting aside the fact that a woman who has survived sexual assault, a woman who has survived a rape, had no choice over what happened to her. Now this man would seek to take away the choice of what she gets to do with her own body in order to save her sanity, potentially. I'm speaking hypothetically here. But please tell me y'all see where I'm going with this. I am aghast that in 2012, with the strides that we have made as a people, this man would seek to turn a time machine on basic, fundamental human rights. Again, for those of you who are pro-life, more power to you. And it's not that I completely don't understand where you're coming from. Frankly, as somebody who has never had to face the impossible decision of whether or not to abort, I do not feel qualified to have a firm and solid stance on what I would do given that situation, which apparently, again, is the difference between me and Rick Santorum. But I can't believe I haven't been rehearsing. But in the case of a rape, in the case of, God, I'm trying not to cry here, being forced into an act that theoretically should be born out of love, the devastation of potentially, and I'm, again, hypothetically here, having to bring forth from my body an infant with the eyes of my rapist, with the lips of my rapist, and then be expected to bond with said child, raise said, it is more to ask of a person than I believe we should have to. And if the choice that you make as a survivor of rape and a pregnancy that ensues as a result of said rape is to have your child, once again, more power to you. But who the hell are we to legislate whether that's even an option or not for women who have undergone such a terrorizing, terrifying incident? That is my standpoint, and I'm that's where I'm at. The link will be below. I'm flabbergasted right now. Shame on you. Shame on you, Rick Santorum. Shame on you. Speak to some survivors. Speak to those who have had to endure this very thing that you speak so cavalierly about. Speak to them. Get inside their heads. Sit down. Hell, get a panel discussion going. And just see for yourself if your mind might change. I'm out of here, y'all. I'm out of here. One love. We have got to do better.